Right then, I know it's been a bit of a while since I've posted an update, but we're on the 31st of Jan, so the Saturday, last day, and we are T-minus 8 weeks to the first round of the British Championship. So, I have one bike that runs, it's not set up properly. I have another bike without an engine in. I have one that doesn't run because of a crank position sensor issue. So we're in a bit of a hole. But I have just swapped the clutches over from the engine I blew up at the end of last season. So that engine and transmission just needs a fluid swap in the transmission and an oil swap in the engine, and that's ready to go in there. And then that is near enough. It just needs a quick check over, nut and bolt, bit of grease here and there, swap my front and rear diff fluid. But then we're ready to go in this bike. I just need to put my front end back on. The aluminium piece that goes up and over here. So I can probably have that done by the end of tomorrow. That engine needs a coat of looking at, but I don't want to break that open. I want to get two bikes up and running first, then I'll dig into my engine. I did also have a lovely engine come from the States. However, just in a dispute with the parcel company because they want to charge me an extra £500 for shipping it over because it was overweight and oversized. Well, and what they've done is they've calculated the shipping with it still on the pallet that they put it on. So they're trying to charge me for the pallet, which doesn't make sense. But anyway, I've got all my evidence and I'm fighting that. Just giving this a bit of a freshen up with a bit of paint in there. Nothing crazy. The only thing is I need to replace that side brace there because I've broken it. And then I've done the belly pan as well. So this one isn't too far off. Just clean some bits up here and there. And then I want to test 24 volt starting on this one with my older wiring. So in case anything blows up or doesn't go awry or fry an ECU, I've got an old ECU that's standard and I don't use. So I might as well test it with that before I test it with this one with the fancy fly-by-wire ECU. I have only one spare. And it's not going to be a spare for very long, so I'm hoping to convert this to fly-by-wire. So, that's the aim. The only thing is, this engine is completely bog standard. I do normally run high comp pistons in it from Wasner. But I'm just going to leave that standard for now, and then I'll build that one or that one back up as a race engine. I have some pistons coming, they should be here on Monday. Right, then what else is there? Triple fan. So this is what I've been working on most of winter. Triple fan project. So that is a 10-inch fan. The stock one is 11. But then these are also two 5.5 inch fans. So you sacrifice an inch on your main fan, but then you gain two 5.5 inch fans. Plus that fan there, that 10-inch fan pulls more CFM than the stock 11-inch fan. So it's actually an overall better setup. But the only thing is, that goes on your stock main harness, comes on at your ECU temperature as normal. These two are getting wired into a fuse box, and then I will also have them on a thermo switch, which will come on temperature dependent, but I'll also be able to turn them on via a normal switch, for example, if I want them on at any point, or after I finish the race. But they will still all be controlled by ignition on. So you can't leave them running if you take your key out or turn your ignition off. Just prevents a flat battery basically. I have designed a little battery tray to go here to hold a second battery for 24 volt. But I just need to find somewhere to mount this secondary fuse box for all these other bits. Because that fuse box will contain a relay for the 24 volt and a relay for the fuses. Yeah, not for the fuses, for the fans, sorry. Relay and fuses for both systems, actually. So that's all, it's all about there. I'm 3D printing the final hat shroud now. This bottom piece, it's in two pieces, but I've got a piece of aluminium and I've made a template so I can, well, not screw it together, but clamp it together and then form the aluminium to make that. These will be on bolts. I have some rubber shoulder washers that I've made and designed to go on there. We're about there, to be honest with it. What else is there? I need to clean out my radiators, but it's just a shortish process. I also have some new front springs for these TFX come in. So I went for a practice day at Polesworth, and I was just nosedive on the front all the time, constantly. So I think the spring rates are too low. I need to whip the rear springs off and check what rate they are before I go ordering them, because knowing my luck, I'll order some thinking that I'm going heavier and they'll be the same rate. So that's next on the list. We have a new Noco 500 coil cranking amp battery to try this year, which I'll need to make a little box for to go in there. I don't know why Jay put the battery tray at the back. If it says it's weight distribution or getting your weight lower down, I don't really understand it, because these batteries weigh next to fuck all in weight. So I don't get it. It's nice and neat up at the front. The wiring's designed to go at the front. I don't get why it's done, but it is. I mean, I keep mine one up front, but it's braced between the shock towers and it sits in lovely. I don't get that, but hey ho, it's done. Can't really put it back because the tray's been cut out of the front. So there is that. This one just needs a service again. I'll swap all the fluids. In fact, this one's got a bit more than a service actually. I've got to swap the pitman arm, because I believe it's been, I don't know if it's made wrong or it's just been smashed together and the teeth have gone crooked on it. But I have, when I have put my bars straight, I have one track rod that's pretty much all the way in on the track rod ends, and I have one that's all the way out to get it straight. So it's like the pitman's misaligned one way. But when I've taken it off before and put it on a bench with a power steering unit, multiple power steering units, it only goes on one way, like it's meant to. The splines are keyed, so one spline goes in a certain orientation and that's that. But for some reason, that orientation's wrong. So, and I've checked my track rods, both the same length. It's not like one's longer than the other. So I'm a bit of a loss on that one, but I've got a new pitman to try. So I bought off John Remlecore. That is about it for this. This one's my fastest engine by far. It's not even close. So I just want to get this one up and running and reliable. That's the main thing. Without trying to sound like a dick, bar that engine failure last year, which was my own problem. Well, it wasn't me, but I had a punctured oil filter, which I can't really do much about. That's not due to reliability of the bike, that's just luck. So, bar that, touch wood, my bikes are fairly reliable when I build them and go through them properly. I'm still yet to make this my own. I just don't fully trust it at the moment. It had a misfire at Polesworth. The front diff was making a sound, which I know things make odd sounds, but I just wasn't too sure with it. Just trying to build that confidence into it. Again, still struggle starting. I can't just click the button and start it, which is on all my other bikes I can. So that's my issue at the moment. So the main thing is get this one back together and working, then go into this one. Triple fan projects, 24 volt project. I call them projects because it's what I do at work. It's just task, job, science, whatever you want to call it. That's what I'm doing. All within 8 weeks. And get a testing day in somewhere as well. So realistically, 4 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks anyway. So I best get cracking on. Then on top of that, garage is always a mess as usual. I have the electronics coming for the triple fan project on Monday with my pistons from the US. Yeah, I know I've said it numerous times now. This year's I'm going up to the expert class, or what in America would be 4x4 Pro. Just a year of learning. You've got to go up and challenge yourself, so I might grab a result here and there every once in a while, but I ain't going to be annoyed or cry if I don't. Just all I want by the end of the year is to have gotten faster. And hopefully that should show in Snowshoe when we go back in June. So that's the big trip for this year, Snowshoe. Hardest GNCC on the calendar. I want to say once again massive thank you to Chris for letting me go over and use his machine. I really do owe that guy some serious favours. So yeah, I'll keep on keeping on. I might put a lap of poles within here as well, if I've even got one together, because I had nothing but misfiring issues. Yeah, that'll be it for now, and then I should hopefully update you. Maybe I'll video tomorrow and then put it out later in the week. But that's what we'll do for now. So, thank you.